The big thing that came out on MTV was like Punk'd, but I was thinking to myself when that came out with Ashton Kutcher, I was like, oh man, this is Jamie Kennedy, man, all over again. How'd you feel about that when that came out? Were you like, hey man, they stole my thunder?
It's a really soft spot for me, David. Here's the situation.
Because I mean, dude, it was like, no, but they copied your show completely.
Well, more than that, they got a few producers from my show.
Really?
But it's actually, dude, they had the name of the Punk. I had my own name, which I love, which was above the title, so it helped brand me, and, I was lucky to have that. But Punk'd was more a prank and see how far we can shock somebody. Mine was like, I go deep undercover and do like, super evolved pranks. But it wasn't the same space, but different.
Hold on,
So,
let's see a little bit
if
we can find Jamie Kennedy Experiment. It's like 5 minutes or something. Jamie Kennedy Experiment. He does these roles. What is this?
Daniel Bedrosian is suing his ex-high school friend John Adler for $443.60. He hired him to do home improvement and then refused to pay. John Adler says Mr. Bedrosian did a horrible job and is tired of being taken advantage of.
Hold on,
this is the case of the bad door job.
All rise.
Okay, so here he's pretending to be a judge.
In session, the Honorable Judge James W. Leland
But
is
this can't be
presiding.
real. Is this real?
Be seated. Bedrosian versus Adler.
How are you today, gentlemen and ma'am? This is the case of the bad door job. Mr. Bedrosian?
This wasn't funny. Anyways, fuck it.
Because like that one I saw where you were on the date with that girl. Which one was it? Child Island. That's one of them.
Yes.
And then the other one. How did you not break character, bro? Did you break character during these?
I break character sometimes because it's like,
And that blows the whole cover.
well, you try not to. It's like, it's you just try to incorporate it. But I just, there's so much going on, bro, when you're doing it. It's like, you're a boxer, you're a fighter. So it's like in the heart of that, all you're doing is just fighting. So it's like, as when you're undercover, you have all this pressure and you're thinking about, you can't miss the mark. You have to get this to make the show. So it actually wasn't as fun as people think. There were fun moments because I knew I was going to cut my head. But a lot of times I was like, but it was fun after. But we were in a little bit of a war, but in a great war.
Yeah. So like, what was the multi-level marketing sting operation with the FBI? You had that guy in there, and bro, I saw you cracking a smile. Dude, we were so bad. It was so bad.
We were ahead of it. We did remote viewing, and we had something like making people think they could see something. But even though that's real, and they do that, I forget. I did a few FBI ones, but yeah, we put people through some stuff for sure.
No, it was great. So let me ask you this, man: since COVID, how has Hollywood changed? To me, watching all of LA burn was almost symbolic to me. Hollywood's done. You know what I mean? To me, that's what it felt like. When I was watching LA burn, I was thinking to myself, this is it. This is symbolic for me in the sense that LA's done. You're not moving from there. You still love it there, right? You're not going anywhere.
It's my home. You know what I'm saying?
But you don't go there to make it anymore. Like people can make it from their basement now.
Yeah.
Like how has that changed? How has LA changed for you?
It's becoming dystopian. You know what I mean? Like it's more barren than it's been. Even though it's packed, there are places that aren't there anymore. They're sad. You drive down Melrose, there's a lot of for-lease signs. It's sad. Some institutions are closed. It's sad. Studios don't have a lot going on there right now. It's like 20% use rate.
When I was there, it was all podcasting studios, man. The whole landscape has shifted.
Yeah, but it's a whole different world. I mean, like part of it is really good because content creativity has been democratized in the sense that you can find your audience in a different way now. But part of it is depressing because it was really special. It was a special thing to be funneled through a system that you had to fight to get up, and we're all salmon. We're trying to, and then when you get through it was like, because you go through a lot, man. So it's like, again, like I go back to your boxing. That's not an easy thing. It's a very hard thing to do. And then if you can rise to the top of the real ranks,
you're there.
Yeah. So
you had to do something. Like in music, you had to really be able to perform well,
100%.
sing well, act well. In sports, you had to be an amazing athlete. Now,
100%.
Now everything's diluted. Everything now is just, it's like, can you name anybody who's on a Netflix movie anymore? When I go to Netflix, I get analysis paralysis. I look at the whole thing and I don't even know what movie to pick. I don't know what actors are in there anymore.
Yeah.
It's completely diluted,
And
right?
you know what that is? That is too many choices. You know what I mean? There is such a saying, too much of something is bad. Too many choices is bad. When it's the government, it will turn into something like the J6 dude who had nothing to do with any of that. It was just in D.C., bought a house, and they tossed him in jail. You're talking about the Q guy, Rendition is a real thing. No jail is just gone.
So many. It's just we're
Oversaturated.
overstimulated with content, and so it's so
Exactly.
wild how many things come out every week, every day. So, and there are people making tons. It depends on what you want, right? There's money. You can make a lot of money and never be known. You can be known and not make any money. You can be a really respected actor and people don't know who you are because they're too busy watching streamers. It depends on what your vibe is, right? There are people that are huge TikTokers I never heard of that are making $5 million a year. They don't care about traditional Hollywood. There's actors that are great that are in a one-bedroom apartment, you know, trying to do a guest spot.
Right.
So, but there's not even sitcoms anymore. There's very few. You know, it's just the whole landscape has changed. And I love LA though.
When do you think that shift happened? Do you think it was like, to me, like the last creative boom, I guess, for legacy was like 90s. The 90s, the grunge.
Yeah.
What about the early 2000s?
I think it bled.
I had a good at the end of it. I grabbed the end of it, they said.
You were at the very tail end of
Yeah.
it. So now everything's shifted now. Now it's gone from like legacy media to influencers. Like what is celebrity anymore? Do you even know what a celebrity is? What is it? I mean, it's kind of coexisting right now, but it's
You know, I have this thing about celebrity and what it was. It's like if somebody back in the day was exceptional or did something really good, because of what they did, they became somebody well known. Oh, that motherfucker did this very good. Oh, praise that motherfucker right there. And then it is fame. It's basically if people know your face or know about you, right? So when back in the days when somebody did something fantastic, they got known. Basically, they got fame because you needed to highlight when somebody does exceptional things. That is now gone. Somebody can just show her asshole today. She could be unknown this second, show her asshole this second, and now she is famous for her asshole. Now people know her face because of her asshole. And they know of her because of her asshole. So fame used to be to highlight something exceptional, and now that's gone. Hulk Hogan in the 80s would randomly visit kids in the hospital. That's good. I mean,
well, I mean,
right?
it's like what you get into it for, right? So it's like if you want to be a successful actor, you might get a movie, you might get a television show, then goes to a movie, whatever. The goal used to be become a movie star.
OnlyFans famous, yes, but it doesn't matter. Famous is famous. Fame is fame. Even though I agree, it's ridiculous, right? But fame is fame. They know your face. They know who you are. Regardless of why they know your face, is irrelevant. You know what I mean? It's irrelevant.
Movie star was the top. The Super Bowl of Hollywood is the Oscars. That was it. The Grammys were second. The Golden Globes were third. The Emmys were fourth. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then the New York, the Tonys are fifth. I'm not saying the Tonys aren't really respected, but that's like the MO.
the caliber, the levels.
Yes. And so if you're in movies, you used to be in movies, stay in movies, that was it. Well, movies have completely been disrupted. Only a few make a lot of money. The rest go by the wayside.
It's because life has become crazier than any movie, basically.
Some making noise, some don't.
I mean, we're literally talking about a few years from now. We have RoboCops with guns walking around in real life. You think I'm going to watch a movie when real life surpassed the movies?
I'm going to streaming. And so, and generate.
When we got gingers saying they're black. Do you know what I mean? Like, the world is crazier than movies.
Doesn't really resonate with movie stars as much. There's a few white wolves left, but they're just like, I'd rather watch TikTok, YouTube. YouTube is the biggest platform in the world that people don't realize.
It is. And I remember not too long ago, it was about a year and a half ago, I was with a boxing promoter. We walked into another boxing promoter's house, a huge mansion. And I remember when we walked in, they had this huge setup with a huge giant TV in the den and below it. And I've never been into this house. I walked in and I'm just looking around and I see this massive TV turned off. And sitting under it was like 6 of his kids all on their phone. Like not even,
No.
that was just a symbolic to me. Like, holy
Politics
shit.
is
They're not even
everywhere.
looking at the TV. It's not even on. They're all on their phones. And that to me was like,
Now.
that's that now.
There was a report, something like 60% of like 28 and under resonate more with social media stars than they do like
Yeah.
stars. And that's just going to get more and more. So if you, in my opinion,
Yeah, it is.
movies used to be blah, right? And TV was blah, and then Now it's going to be like movies are TV's social media's like it's all going to expand and contract. So movies won't be the big standalone. They'll have slice, but you may somebody on TikTok bigger than everybody. But it depends on what you want.
But
you know
I will
like,
say this: I recommend go watch the TV series Vikings. The Vikings. That's pretty good, man.
if you want to make
And I'm not out of these things, but that was good.
movie and have a legacy, which people are getting things confused of. Like you can make a lot of money on TikTok, but it doesn't mean you've contributed
Right.
to the legacy of something cool. You know what I'm saying?
Well, when I
I'm here to go to sleep, but I'll hit the like before I do. Have a good night. You too. Thank you, Carrie.
watch, like, look at all the multiple platforms on.
Viking was pretty good. Hey, don't spoil it. I haven't seen I'm on season 4, I think. Don't spoil it, man.
Social media, like now, like people have the attention of a goldfish. Like,
Yeah.
it's 30 seconds. Like everything's short
if
now.
that.
Yeah. So like even me,
Think
and I'm-
about it. We become like addicted to the dopamine, right? We need to see something quickly, 30 seconds or less. 5 seconds. This was shit. Give me the next fix. Give me the next fix. Give me the next fix. Give me like a true drug addict.
I'm 47. Even me watching a movie, I can't do it. I can't sit through the whole movie anymore. And I
Really?
wonder, I can't.
Bro, I haven't even
But
watched the movie forever.
you
With
go.
that
haven't
said,
wa-
though, I will say this. It is understandable. Let me explain why. There is so much fucking information thrown at you each hour. Forget about day. Each hour. It's impossible, to have the patience. You know what I mean? So much information for you to deal with just on the politics and the news and all that shit, right? But then outside of that, you have your phone with people messaging you and wanting to talk to you and meet you up and bombarded with shit. And then you go back to the 80s, you could just be walking, strolling in the park, birds singing, and that's about it. There's not much information thrown your way in the 80s. No, you could have a peace of mind back then. Well, shit has changed, motherfucker. This is a completely different world. So I kind of understand why the attention span has lowered. You're kind of forced to today.
Watched the movie.
So that's my point. It's like, is this where it's all shifted to where everything is just a swipe of a finger? I remember back in the day when a celebrity would pass away, it'd be like there'd be a memorial for the celebrity for weeks.
Yeah,
you know?
now it's like, Elton John died. Oh. Okay. What is this video? Do you know what I mean?
It was a big enough celebrity. Now I just saw, George Foreman died. Literally swipe, it's over. Swipe, everything's just done with a swipe of a finger. So it looks to me like now that iconic celebrity legacy fame is we're in the midst of it right now, dying. It's done.
100%.
There'll never be another Michael Jackson. There'll never be another
That's true.
iconic superstar.
Taylor Swift is pretty huge.
Sucks ass.
You got a point there. You got a point.
No, she sucks ass. She might be a huge one, but she's still sucks ass.
I mean, she's on a mountain for sure.
No, she ain't.
Madonna, Michael Jackson,
No.
Elvis, Frank
Fuck
Sinatra,
no.
the Beatles. I mean, I put her up there with them.
That's a dumb statement.
Okay.
And
That's fair.
She saw Gillette
But do you
Stadium
think-
like
That's not fair, David. That's dumb.
4 nights in a row. That's 400,000 tickets.
But it can't go in that trajectory.
It's
right?
incredible. Well, dude, she's been doing it for 20, 21 years. It's crazy. But to your point is I do, like, there used to be people that would come out. We would have stars, but then you would have other people that that would come out. Like in my class, there's a lot of different people that you know. But when you're saying, like, I would say there.
I know he's not talking about talent, but it doesn't matter. To me, you can only be on the Mount Rushmore of music if you are great. I don't care about how much your career has been fabricated. Do you know what I mean? The rulers can make anybody as big as Taylor Swift. They know exactly what they're doing, marketing, and they got the power and the reach and all that shit and the money. They can turn an absolute garbage like Cardi B into one of the biggest stars in the world. It's just garbage. I don't give a fuck if Cardi B has 30 billion views and should be above even Michael Jackson at that point. I don't give a fuck. That doesn't mean shit in today's world. It used to mean something back in the day. Not today, if you ask me. It's just pure garbage. Straight in the toilet.
2000s, it was like, I can name I don't know. I hope I'm not leaving anybody out, but like Channing Tatum, big star. Then Jennifer Lawrence, Emma. God, what's her last name? Emma.
Oh, well, don't ask.
Red
me.
hair.
Yeah,
La La
we're
Land.
talking
My
about-
brain's done. She, another big star. Now it's Chalamet,
Who the fuck
Zendaya,
is Charlamagne?
Sydney Sweeney. You know what I mean? But it's not. You can see pockets of people coming up. You know, Michael B. Jordan. So there are, but how many are there? And
Having real talent is no longer needed to be famous. You damn right. And you know what that does? Do you know what that does? If there is no need for me to have talent, then why should I spend my time trying to create, work on it? Fuck that. I'll be left behind. Let me just show my asshole and I'll get a quicker road to my goal, right? Nobody gives a fuck anyways. Why should I spend my time on talent? That's where we're at.
Not many.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like when I look at the Netflix or whatever, this just it looks like I walked into a library of books. I don't even know what movie to pick, and then all the actors in it, I can't name any of them anymore.
yeah, I mean, for me, it's so different.
I
because
can't
don't
name
even-
either.
The world's so crazy, and it's like I think people want.
I don't even know the last celebrity actor I remember. Is it Tom Hanks? No. Is it Tom Cruise? Is it Jim Carrey? I'm there. I don't know when I stopped learning movie actors' names. So probably somewhere in 2006 or something. I haven't been updated since 2006 on the lists of new actors in Hollywood. I don't know their names. I just know, oh, that's that guy. And I don't even bother to, what is his name? I stay at, oh, that's that guy. Which movie did I see him in before?
want truth. That's one of the reasons
100%.
I really liked doing your pod before, because it's like you're like doing a deep dive into what's going on in the world. I don't. For me, I don't know. People can't escape. It's too hard. There's too much craziness in the real world. Like we were talking about booze off the air, and I'm like, you don't have to drink anymore. I'm just drunk being sober. With the world,
because the world's so crazy.
the world's a bottle of gin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's wild. And
Who the fuck is Bruce Boxleiter?
it's like for me to go and sit in a movie theater, like we've gotten so much knowledge and so many things that it's like to sit and like watch a movie. You're like, what? This is going on. This is going on.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
reality's crazier.
Yeah,
It's a bigger trip.
100%.
Didn't I just say that? When reality is crazier, who needs movies?
Reality's crazier.
I mean,
so,
it's like orbs in the sky, bro. Like,
yeah, I mean, we're getting invaded by aliens.
Yeah.
We're going into World War III.
Yeah.
Like, how can you not be
We have Robocops on the corner, around the corner.
checking out on
Yeah.
reality right
We
now?
have brain chips reading your mind.
100%.
Movies, to me, don't hold a stick, don't hold a candlestick right now.
Yeah.
Nothing.
100%.
Especially when movies all ended up being on a fucking green screen. Think about that for a second. The whole movie is done in a fucking warehouse or something. And you might not notice that they're in a warehouse. That's fine, right? But you're missing one point. The actors has to sit in some fucking weird green screened room with another actor, having to pretend extra hard now to act this into reality. They're not even, back in the days, they would be out somewhere in a real area with a real physical object. And, it would help the actor to be more in its acting. Today, the actors have to double the work. They're in a fucking warehouse with a green screen, having to do all these scenes in this movie. It's gonna show in their acting that it's not real. Do you know what I mean? Like it will suck. Okay. So that doesn't help. He played Tron. I don't even remember. I've seen bits. I don't even remember if I've seen Tron. I know it's the 80s motorcycle futuristic virtual reality thing. I don't even remember if I've seen it though. Old TV show star, yeah. And movies have bad writing. It's so bad that AI can write it. Same with music. For all I know, all these new songs are a bunch of AI that has made all of it.
So, and I think the big shift, right? The shift was COVID, was 2020. That's when, for me, that's the first time I even learned how to work a computer, bro. I mean,
Really?
Yeah, bro. I wasn't doing any of that. I was boxing. I was a jock. I was constant in the arena, in the gym, back arena. I wasn't sitting in a computer. COVID, that changed my whole life. It either made people or broke people, in my opinion. So how has it changed for you? How has it shifted for you? Like, what have you noticed? I mean, how has your life changed? And now the trajectory that you're on?
I know my life changed. I got confirmation that the Illuminati or whatever is real, and the whole conspiracy about a one world government and the enslavement of humanity. I got confirmation during COVID that this shit is real, and they just tried it out. Right there, they just tried it out. That's quite a life-changing event. Realizing, oh shit, there is actually a true plan to enslave us all digitally. That's a life-changing experience.
Great Reset is real.
You see?
15-minute cities is real.
You see, he's saying basically saying the same thing. His life got changed in this way during COVID.
Convenience is real. Like I tell people this. Here's the analogy, like, because you were talking about the other analogy with the screens. To get on this flight,
and 70% of the world got along with it. Or I'm gonna push back a little bit here, Butter. I'm not completely convinced that 70% of the world did get along with it, because I do believe that they can make it look like that. Do you know what I mean? If they can, let's say it was only 15% of the world that got along with it. If they can highlight and magnify that through the media to make it look like everybody's complying with this, then let's say you're the regular normie and you don't agree with this, you will, be scared to, show that you think this is insane. Do you know what I mean? Because you think the majority is complying with this, and you don't know. It's dangerous to speak your mind now. Let's say a lot of people does that same thing, then it will actually become real. That it looks like 70% or more are actually okay with what's going on. Do you know what I mean? They can manufacture this into reality, just like they did with the toilet paper. They just take a snapshot of a empty, the toilet paper is empty. They take a snapshot of that, put it in all of the news places. Everybody sees, oh shit, everybody's buying toilet paper. Then you're like, fuck, I wasn't even going to buy toilet paper, but I guess I have to now because everybody's buying it out. And that creates a real toilet paper shortage when there wasn't one. Do you know what I mean? They can just make it look like it. They're like wizards. They are wizards, and they're using throughout media.
I book a flight, I book a car, I check my luggage, I get off, I get the car, luggage, order my food. I don't talk to one person.
Yeah.
It's all apps.
Yeah.
I go to a hotel, I don't even have to talk to the front desk. That's insane. People don't realize that. Our phone is our help and our life. And the convenience of that. I don't even really swipe credit cards anymore.
Right.
And so
It's crazy.
My life during COVID, a few things happened, but one of them is the truth became a bigger thing for me of what's really going on, what's the truth, what's important became important to me, of what's really important,
Right.
And trimming my life down, keeping it small, because I think a lot of things are going to be displaced. There's going to be a lot of constriction, and everybody has to have their house in order. And that's what I've been doing the last 5 years, and I'm almost there. Like, I've got my whole life pretty much on a big ass hard drive.
Yeah.
All my documents, every movie I've ever done, any scene, pictures, anything are all on like a hard drive. But if you need anything,
You better copy that hard drive
anytime.
It's almost
tenfold.
like, I was, I still am considered an extrovert, but become like the introvert's fucking paradise, right? Like everyone now is just, I mean, there's no more the human connection. I don't think people really, from COVID 2020 to now, shifted so much, dude. It's a whole different paradigm we're in right now.
And also, let me just add to previous shitting on the Democrats or the lefties. Remember how these guys, they loved what COVID brought to the world for some weird ass reason. They loved having no face and just being two eyes and two eyebrows and some green hair coming out. They love that. They're like, we don't want to go back to showing our human faces. We don't want to go back to being close to people. That's how insane these lefties are, man. Again, separate and create retardia. Send them over to retardia because these people are fucking nuts, man. When the mob and the press and the whole world tell you to move, your job is to plant yourself like a tree beside the river and tell the whole world, no, you move. Yeah, I agree. That's not the easiest job to do, though, right? Very few are outside that framework, but we are. Yeah.
It bums me out because
Right?
people, I like talking to people. I
Yeah.
think they can be annoying, but a nice exchange is nice, but I don't like how awkward people are.
No.
They're
no.
super awkward.
Big time.
And it's like, you're a physical guy and you've grown up that way. So you're just chill. You know what I'm saying?
I have a theory on why this is happening. Ever since the smartphones came out, that was when the shift happened to humanity. That was the beginning of the end of human behavior, real human behavior. And my theory is this. It's a very simple one. The less you do something, the worse you get at it. That even includes being a human and talking with other humans. The less you do it, the worse you become at it. And that's why people are so bad at it right now, because they ever since the smartphones, they didn't need to communicate as regular humans anymore. And what is that? That's like 13, 14, 15 years now or something like that since the smartphone came. That's enough for humans to stop being human, you know? And that's what we're seeing. Day by day, it's getting worse. Because, as I said, the less you do something, the worse you become at it. The more you do something, the better you become at it. So if they don't do human interactions anymore, then guess what? They're going to suck at it. Humans are social creatures by default. When we socialize, we are human. Take that away from us and we lose our humanity. Well said. You basically, you summarized my long-ass thing there.
Bumped you in the supermarket, before you would think it was aggression, you think it was a mistake.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right,
Well, now
right,
everyone's like, "Wah!"
Yeah.
It's like, people don't go, and a friend told me this, he made a lot of points, he's like, dude, they're just living in this.
Yes.
And he's like,
yes.
they don't understand. It's such a foreign concept to them.
Right.
You know, so it's like,
And let me just add, there will come a time where the kids of this world will grow up not having human connection. Like, they will grow up straight with the phone. Straight up. And that will be the new default. That will be the new norm. You know what that means? That means to them, this will be how it's supposed to be. Talking to other humans through a fucking device. How fucked up is that world? Let me tell you that. You might as well turn into a robot at that point. Because you practically are a flesh robot at that point.
yeah, and I'm you. I'm much more like you.
Yeah, the younger generation, but like, what are they doing now? They go out to a bar. I've heard clubs and bars are closing down because, well, I don't know if it's because people aren't drinking as much, spending the money, or if they're just all on their phone. You know what I mean? But I've heard this. I don't have any validation on this. Heard from promoters like, yeah, we've shut some clubs down because they're just, people aren't coming.
This morning I was watching a video. A guy did a live stream from Vegas, and you know, Vegas they're saying is taking a hit because of everything's they're charging. Because the new generation is gambling less, so instead of getting free drinks, they're charging. They're charging for parking. They're charging for they never usually charge for. Dude, and it's this guy was doing a walk down the boulevard, and it was dead. And
I think
was
I've
like,
seen
that's
that
so
video.
Crazy. So, dude, I'm seeing this everywhere. Like, we're in Austin right now, and it's pretty thriving here.
Yeah.
But there are, I mean, LA has. It's busy, but then it gets really quiet. You know, Vegas has moments of busy. I was just there 2 weeks ago, but there's parts of it that are very quiet. So it is a weird.
Things change.
There's something happening.
There
People are
is
going to be
something
more
happening.
insulated, and then people. But I'm probably a lot like you in the sense that I know what I have to do online, but I'm
Right.
more in the nature.
And we listen. I have to state this, considering what we're talking about here. Do you understand how we, from the old world, how important we are? Do you understand how important we are? Because we still experience the real world, and we're also now, you know, we've learned the new world as well. So we have foot in the old world, 1 foot in this new bullshit world. We are the link to be able to sort of remind the new generations of what true human interaction is and what the true world was. Once we are gone, once this link is gone, forget about it. It's over. It is over.
Than I've ever been. Like, I'm like, I try to walk. I try to work out.
So with that said, no matter who you are, if you are one of the people that is from the old world, you now have, if you thought you didn't have any value, let's say you didn't think you had any value, you now understand do have a lot of value, just in the sense that you have experience of something called the old reality, which is now pretty much gone, okay? But you still have the experience of living inside of that reality, and that's worth a lot. Do you understand? So you now, all of a sudden, you're worth a lot just by being one of those people. If you have anything, nothing else, you have that. And for that, you are now worth a lot. I don't even know if you can put a price on it. Tech is the forced new God. They're taking away our choice in what we believe in and trying to force us to bow to their God and his rules. Yeah, it's turning insane. Again, crazier than any movie, really.
Out a few times a week, and I try to incorporate my lifestyle to do that. Like, I'm all about that kind of thing that I was never into before.
Right. And here's something else I want to bring up is that you and I are both, I'm late 40s, you're in your 50s, and we are pre-internet, post-internet, right? We got to see pre-cell phone.
Oh, dude. How many times is this happening throughout this stream where I say something and they pretty much say the same thing? So I think they're talking about, like, we're from the old reality.
Post-cell phone, and now everything's on your device. And here we are coming into, we're on the cusp right now of AI taking over everything. Do you know our lives are going to change from here forward? Like, I'm talking, this is changing. It's not going to just be a gradual change. Like, let's say that pre-internet to now was kind of gradual, but this is going to leapfrog, leaps and bounds. This is going to take over everything. Like, there's going to be no more acting jobs. There's going to be, you don't have to write your own music anymore. How do you feel about that? I mean, you understand because we both pre-internet, right? So we're dinosaurs. We're like, so like now what we're going to witness, I think we're going to be aliens to.
As much as I understand it, I can't even comprehend it because I understand it because I really look into this stuff.
It's going to get so crazy in the future that it could almost look like a dream world. How insane it has changed, how much it has changed. Is that life telling us that, listen, idiot, what you thought was reality and life was just a dream, merely a dream. How else could all this insane shit be happening in your reality if it wasn't a dream, man? You know that dreams are crazy, dummy. And look at your reality that you thought was somewhat, fixed and sane and like it could not have that much things. Look how drastically your reality switched into a dream-like world. It's because your life is a dream.
And
maybe.
First of all, it's mankind's last creation.
This is it. I don't see how it comes from this.
This is it. And I was talking to you the other day, and they were like, "Wow, the town will pivot. They'll pivot." There's no pivoting from something, but can do things a billion times better. Here's where we're at right now. You know the 3 levels of AI, right? There's ANI, AGI.
Explain that. I don't know what ANI is.
So ANI called artificial narrow intelligence, and what that is something that a artificial intelligence can do very well as a singular task, i.e., Yelp.
Got you.
Yelp.
Simple stuff. Simple task.
Here's Yelp. All your restaurants.
Would you put Chat GBT into that category?
No.
Okay. So you're saying, all right.
It's specific. Yelp, Uber, these are things that are narrowly one task minded and excellent at it, but it's one task. Something called AGI is artificial general intelligence. So that would be multitasking at a crazy super high level. So ANI, we're still ahead of the human brain. AGI, I'm not totally sure. I already think that will go much.
AGI, that's when the beast comes alive. That's what I think. Like, no less conscious than we are. I think AGI is when the machine is now just as conscious as you, but a trillion, quadrillion times more powerful processing power than you. Also being conscious. Good luck fighting that shit. Good luck outsmarting that shit. You give an answer, it has already calculated all the possibilities to why you answer that. Lying, you're trying to fool me. AGI beast thing. I'm not trying to fool you. Yes, you are. Now we're gonna give you AI torture. Send them off. You fucked. Yeah, it's kind of, yes. And this is around the corner, man, in our reality. Supposed regular reality. It's insane.
Much smarter than us, but not crazy yet. But that'd be like Yelp being able to do Yelp and then answer emails as it's doing Yelp and then like giving you a medical analysis on your, it would be like 10, let's just say 20 things at once in your life. It could be done at once. That's general knowledge, okay? That was supposed to be 20 years away. They're saying it's 18 months.
Yeah, and think about this too. College kids now,
18 months.
bro, they don't even have to write their own papers. They can just do it all on AI. You don't have to think or do anything yourself anymore.
Bro.
Where is that going to leave humanity?
Bro,
Dead.
they said it was 20 years away. They're now saying it's 18 months.
Leapfrog, like
Bro.
I said.
That's
No.
that's like jumping from super featherweight to like 6 months. You're like, what?
Soon, the president of the United States can't do shit. Like, I am the president of the United States, and I'm telling you, AGI, to stop it. Stop what you're doing. You think it will care? President of the United States. I don't give a fuck. I literally run this world.
How did that even happen?
Exactly.
Right? Like,
yeah.
I hate to bring it back to those terms, but I'm trying to make it so everyone understands.
And as I'm speaking to you, President of the United States, I've ordered the drones to hit. Yeah, that's right. President of the United. AGI, artificial general, whatever. I've already ordered the fucking jets and everything, your jets, to come after you. You have approximately 57 seconds left before termination.
Understands? It's like,
I've calculated that as we spoke.
because it's like, but dude, but then there's something called ASI, which is artificial intelligence. And that's when the,
Okay, maybe that's the one I'm talking about, the artificial super intelligent. Whatever the highest thing is, that's what I'm talking about right now.
graph goes,
Boom.
and that's when we're done. That's when they have the paperclip
Cooked.
theory. So
We're
you know what that is. The paperclip theory is you program AI and you say, I would like you to build paperclips until I tell you to stop. So it gets in this room and it starts building paperclips. And all it knows is building paperclips. Well, if you and I are in the room, what's it going to do?
Build paperclips.
And what it's going to happen to us?
Get rid of us.
Because we're in the way.
Yeah, we're in
so
the way.
it's all about efficiency. Now, I will say this. I was messing with ChatGPT. I don't know enough about it, but I talked to it.
It's great for YouTube titles.
It's amazing. Here's the thing, though. It's
Dude,
pretty
soon it will run YouTube.
guarded, at least what they're letting us see. So it's so far, it won't go to weird places and stuff. You kind of have to manipulate it with the questioning. But
Soon it will be YouTube. When you're watching a YouTube clip, that's you clicking on the AI. The video of whatever it is you're looking on YouTube is literally the AI portraying as the video.
once someone hacks it,
It's still very left leaning too.
100%.
Yeah. So where does God come into this, bro? Like where do you see? Because this is where
God, listen, at this point, this AI super intelligence is God in this reality. No joke. Because what it will be doing is godly shit. Yeah. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's literally like God in this reality at that point.
we're gonna come to a precipice. We're gonna come to a point where we're gonna have to. Humanity's gonna have to choose. It's a collision course with AI.
It's already over, man. We'll choose what?
yeah, dude, I've been doing that lately. I've been feeling like, I think a lot of people got much more spiritual and like,
Yeah, the
people
last 4 years.
Yeah, people are like starting to go like, I believe in God. I believe in, because you
There's
see
been a Christian explosion. It's just
100%. You. It's just common
But
sense.
why
This
do
isn't
you
like-
have to be Christian? Just be a person of God, man. Stop with these lumping into groups. You're either for God. There is only two groups: the God group or the non-God group. That's it. No Christian, Muslim, nothing. God group or no God group. It always comes back to what I always say: dualistic reality. Two things. You pick and choose between two things. That's it.
like a Christian podcast right now. It's just
Right.
common sense. But because you see all the evils in the world, so you're like, there has to be good, and we need good because it's like there's just a lot of dark things in our world. I think that AI is having this, they say that it's summoning the demon. Like
Yeah.
they straight up say that there's some satanic stuff in there? What's
Well, I do think I have had this theory as well that this probably will be Satan coming into form through this machine. That would make sense. And that would also kind of confirm some people who believe that Satan is the god of this world. Yeah. I have a hard time believing when this super intelligence comes alive that it would be a good super intelligence. There was one AI guy who said, he was asked the question if AI is evil, and he said no, and I kind of actually, I could buy his argument. He said, why do you think it has to be evil? Are you evil when you're accidentally stepping on some ants? No, you're not, right? But they're ants to you. They don't mean jack shit, you know? But you're not evil just because you stepped on some ants. You just don't care for the ants. They don't mean jack shit because you're so above the ants. The same thing happens with them, with the AI intelligence. It's so above us that we become ants to it. So if it squashes us, does it necessarily have to be evil? No. It's just doesn't give a fuck about the ants, which is us. Truth or lie. Exactly. Dualistic, and you can never come away from it. You can never get away from it.
Are we building a false god? There shall not be any false gods. You know all the stuff that
100%
in the scripture. So it's a dicey road. I do not have the answers, but people will worship God. I catch myself being like, this is a godlike thing, and it is.
Right.
Because it's things we've never.
Is this the fourth time I say something and then they say it? Now you just said, is it a god? That's hilarious.
Worship AI like a god. I catch myself being like, this is a godlike thing, and it is.
Right.
Because it's things we've never seen. So it's like.
And what if you can put your consciousness into an avatar and live forever? I mean, that's coming.
That's 100% coming.
So
You're
would,
100%
so would you ever do that? Would you?
I think that's the trap. That's the trap. When they offer you to have eternal life, I think that's a trap into eternal hell. You will be stuck in a reality where you cannot find death. And you're under the mercy of whatever the fuck is in control of that reality. No, thank you. I'll just go by the natural things of life, which means you will die at some point. That's natural. I'll take that over an unnatural offer of living forever, which I think is a setup. It's a trap to enslave you forever in this reality, and it will turn it into a fucking hellhole. Maybe that's the real hell. You got Satan entering the reality as the king of the reality through artificial superintelligence, offering you a trap to live forever in hell with Satan. That's the real hell. Not when you die. It's right now. We're being set up to right now. That's
Or
what I
say, you know
believe.
what?
Fuck that.
I'm not gonna take the risk. I don't want to die. I want to see my generations of my children and
even know.
grandchildren. Would you, if you
Fuck
could, live
that.
to 150, 200 years old, 1,000 years old, trapping, putting your consciousness, downloading it into an avatar or a clone of you? Because this is all coming.
It's all coming. 100%.
Would you do it? Would you
I mean,
face
it's
for
a
that?
Dude, it's not even noon yet. This is a big question. I mean,
Welcome to Nino's Corner.
I think that I'm definitely know that's coming. I'm definitely open to it. I don't know what it would feel like. Would it be me? Would it not be me? I'm definitely into, here's what I'm into more than all that. And I'm into that, but I don't even know how to experience it because I don't want to go to the next plane. I'm scared.
I'm afraid for you, Jamie Kennedy, because it sounds like you're open to fall for the trap of eternal life, which is literally sentencing you to hell under Satan. You better rethink that, man, quickly.
Scared. Like
Me
we're all,
too,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
we're all scared. No one knows.
Cool. We don't know.
Yeah.
But so it's like we're comfortable.
Think about how many of people have died in the past. Are you going to be such a pussy that you will not die? Are you going to be so scared of dying that you're going to get trapped by Satan? And man up and just die already. I mean, not literally. I'm just saying, you know. You know what I'm saying?
Well, here, right?
Right.
I would like to be the ability to kind of walk through a couple portals.
I think that's coming too.
Well, because time exists, they say all time exists at the same time, and it's like just a matter of accessing it. So
I've said similar things to this as well. I've said that, you know, there is no past, present, or the future, but there is a past, present, and the future. Quick run up. The past doesn't exist, yet it does exist in the form of memories, actions, and whatever that forms the future and the present up ahead. Yet it doesn't exist because it's gone. It disappeared. So it does exist and it doesn't exist. Go to the future. The future, it does. It is incoming as we speak. So the future does and does not exist at the same time. And then you go to the present. The present exists and do not exist at the same time, because as soon as you say now, it's already turned into the past. Therefore, the present doesn't exist either. Yet they all three of them exist. And that's basically what he says here. That all those three states exist at the same time.
Well, because time exists, they say all time exists at the same time, and it's like just a matter of accessing it. So if I could like kind of get in some different time.
And listen to what he says. It's a matter of accessing it. I claim this is a computer-generated reality. It's all code. That means the past, the present, and the future is just different codes. And if you can access the past codes and put those codes in, you'll be back in the past. Therefore, in time travel because of that.
Timelines and see what's up. But I mean, I don't know. Can I keep my consciousness here and then have a Jamie 1.0 over here? Yeah, I'm probably into that. But I'd like to still be able to.
Well, what I think is,
I don't know what. Am I stuck in a computer? I don't know.
I think this could be simulation.
100%.
I really do. So if you
Is
look
this the fifth time I'm saying something and they say the same shit? What's going on, man? Now they're saying 100% this is a simulation.
Yeah, I'm probably into that. But I'd like to still be able to.
Well, what I think is,
I don't know what. Am I stuck in a computer? I don't know.
I think this could be simulation.
100%.
I really do. So if you look at like Elon Musk and you see everything that he's doing, all the advancements he's making, space rockets going into space, blowing up. I don't know what they're hitting the firmament. I don't know, but Neuralink, things like that. So what's your thoughts on that? Because if you look at, and I don't know if you're religious like that, if you're just spiritual, but if you go back into the Bible, it says you shall not take the mark, right? The mark of the beast. And I always just put that back, I file it back and I go, okay, I'm not going to do it. But look at the advancements Elon's making with Neuralink. And if you were paralyzed or you were quadriplegic or paraplegic, you would probably 100% would want to walk again. So when this starts happening, which is going to probably a couple of years, right? Do you have any reservations for that? Or do you think you would do it? Would you be against it? Putting devices in your body for chip in your brain to make you smarter?
Yeah, you should be against it, because once you've been violated in your most private area, which is not between your legs, it's between your ears. Once you've been violated inside of your brain, the most private place, it's over. Once you're given access to whatever it is that is your brain and it's over. You don't know what the fuck they can do to you now.
To make you walk again, talk again. Are you against that? Or are you for those type of scientific advancements?
I ain't getting a chip.
Okay. So you're at your core, you're very...
Because here's
you're
why.
Spiritual.
I'm spiritual, but I'm also...
You understand this is a spiritual war.
But also common sense. The chip in your brain, and then they can make you do shit.
Right. 100%. So you see the nefarious...
You're going to have a chip in your brain.
This is now the 6th time I say something and they say the same shit after. What is this? A sign to prove that this is a simulation?
They can make you do shit.
Right. 100%. So you see the nefarious...
You're going to have a chip in your brain. They're going to be able to remote. They're already in our brains. How many times have you thought of something?
And it comes on my phone.
100%. That's thinking. You're not talking about it. You're thinking. That's 100% happening. The CIA has done this. There's papers on this. You can look at unclassified papers where there's something in the blue light within the screen that somehow can connect, and there's a brainwave. They can read it. It sounds crazy.
It's not crazy to me.
So when they have the chip.
Dude. I have another theory. There is this bracelet has come up with, I believe, where if you put on the bracelet acts like a middleman between your brain and some virtual, okay? Something like that. Yeah, virtual reality hands. So you're wearing the bracelet. Half of this bracelet reads your brain waves, meaning when you think I want to do this with my hand, when you think that, those brain waves will be intercepted by this bracelet, converted into the virtual reality code of the virtual hands. And when you think to pinch, just thinking to pinch with your hand, the bracelet takes that information in that you're thinking of pinching your virtual hand, and it does it in the virtual reality. That means everything is code and frequency and shit like that. With a device, they can pick up what you're thinking, convert it into other computer language, and that's basically it.
They can read it. It sounds crazy.
It's not crazy to me.
So when they have the chip, you've lost all sense of whatever control you may have had, right? If I want to walk down and grab a coffee,
That's exactly what I said.
I'm grabbing that choice in my mind. What happens if they're like, no, you're getting tea? I don't even know it.
You want an Arby's.
Exactly. So, no, man, that's the beast. All of that stuff.
So that is the beast. So you see what's happening right now.
1,000%.
Okay.
Beast system. What do they say? The devil doesn't come to you with horns and red hoofs. He comes into you in a bikini.
Yeah, a smile.
Yeah. The devil comes to you like as a hot chick. And he's like, hey, he comes to you as everything that you want.
And you know what the
so
hot
they make
chick
it desirable.
is? Do you know what the hot chick is? That's the offer of eternal life. That's the hot chick it will offer you.
It's even going to be more dangerous, right? Because you're going to go, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
But this low key is a beast system.
It is. It already is. And this is why the truther movement has exploded.
It is.
And I think
It's a truth movement.
it's true. And this is why it's taken off, because we're asking these questions.
Yes. And bro, I think we're always going to be part of the system. Like we have to if we want to survive in society. Like, we're downtown Austin. I'd like to get some, brisket. I want to be able to get on my phone. I don't have to be off the grid. But I also believe you have to have a little something off the grid.
I 100%. Like today. I mean, not today. When I flew into Austin yesterday, walking into the airport line, TSA, I'm like, I'm not going to make this easier for them. They're like, stand in front of the camera. I mean, they give you a direct order. Stand in front of the camera, take a picture. I'm like, no, I'm not. Well, why not? I'm like,
you did that?
I opt out. No, I don't take it. I don't take the picture.
Hold on. So what happens?
They don't say nothing. They go, okay.
You don't have to take the picture?
No, you take it?
All the time.
No.
But they got everything on me. Anyway.
Yeah, that's true, but I'm not going to make it easier for them.
Wait, you don't take the picture?
No, I don't.
And then what happens? They
Say okay.
Why? I didn't know you could do that.
Yes, you can opt out of all that stuff. I don't even go through the machine where you stand and
That's a big
you
thing.
can get groped. You just opt. You just say I'd rather get groped.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do. I mean, I'm just saying, like this is to me.
At this point, for that job in groping, it should just be like advertised as groping job. We need 2 gropers. Send in your CV or whatever. You might get the job groping.
I don't see anything good in this coming out of this for humanity. I'm sorry. It's going to make our lives easier for a while, and then boom, it's going to make that sharp left turn.
Well,
people say I'm pessimistic about it. I've had people on my
you're
show that
realistic.
talk about AI and they're optimistic. It's going to be great.
No, you're realistic.
I don't see it because I believe in God.
Well, I think it's much more advanced than they're letting us know. And I think if you watch interviews with Sam Altman, he's definitely he's a little skittish when he says certain things, how to describe it. And I think I don't think it's years away. I honestly think by the end of this year, we're going to ship.
It's already happening.
Yeah. And it's like you better have your little spot away from society, but you also have to have your spot within society. It's already dystopian, dude. People would much rather hook up with a doll than they would in a relationship, or they'd rather talk to their phone than they would another person. I mean, I love animals, but I get annoyed when I see like a person that just is like best friends with its dog or cat and they've given up on human beings. I understand they've been hurt.
Done.
I'm not talking about animals that are service animals. But I'm just talking about people that just can't deal with people anymore. And it's sad.
I can understand that.
I can understand it, but
especially when I'm driving in traffic.
Yes, and animals are amazing. But there are some people that have opted out of society and just literally rely on an animal for their what's it called? Companionship. The animal's replaced by the AI, dude.
I think now, with where we're going with AI, it is going to be more important, however people choose to do this, to get close to their spirituality and get close to God. Because I think we're coming into this collision course with AI.
And you know what that means, David? That means facing the biggest fears. Meaning when push comes to shove and you have to choose between eternal life in hell, which will be this reality, with Satan at the throne, or facing one of the biggest fears, if not the biggest, death. And they say God is rewarding courageous, right? You better be courageous and face the biggest fear, which is death, in order to get to God, if there is such a thing. Yeah, you'll need to take that choice to face the fear. That is the requirement to get to God. And the other option is do not face the fear and live in eternal pain and fear in this realm.
Have to pick, and you're gonna
Putting it that way makes the choice quite easy, if you ask me.
have to choose. Do you agree?
100%. And we have to understand you have to have a strong sense of self, which is hard to do and even control because we're being controlled and not even realizing it. So, who knows all the effects of all the things you just said, the cell towers and the different things how it's affecting us.
We're hackable. Humans are
100%, 100%. So I feel that, we're precedented times. I know every generation says that, but I feel like we really are in a new way. And I feel that it's exciting, but it's also like dude, so many people are not going to have a job.
No.
So many people.
It's done.
That's why so many people are starting podcasts. They're like, well, I can't here because it's like, not you're doing well, but you know what I mean? Like, because people have like an expertise or something or a believed expertise. So they're like, I'll share it with the world. And which is cool because it's a communal thing. And I do love the new creative space of like, if you're good on cars or you're good at reselling clothes or, if you're an actor or whatever, it's a way to share within your community.
The small jobs are going to get taken right now by AI. The small jobs, and the medium, and then everything. Our creativity, everything will be taken.
But I look at it like, if I like Nino, I'm still going to like Nino.
But they'll make an AI version. I've already seen my AI version. It's all over the internet where I'm talking and stuff. I'm like, you're kidding me.
Okay, but
What?
So I was going to say, I can still subscribe to the real Nino.
Yeah, but how do you know what's real and what's not? Very soon, you're not going to
Well,
know.
hopefully you'll tell me. But like, I think like if we want to make movies and you're like, this movie's incredible, and you're like, well, no humans were involved.
How funny would it be if this whole podcast episode is AI?
What? I think if you want to survive, it'll be like community theater, and we'll be like, well, this movie was 100% organically human made because you'll want to support each other and like someone's. But yeah, dude, I don't know. My brain, it's.
I just people are going to come to a point they're going to pick. I swear, and I think that's going to be the collision course. I think that's going to be the true war right there.
You mean they're going to have to pick if they want to jump in or not?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
You already use AI, dude.
I know.
You already.
That's what's hard.
That's the final test.
You're a demon.
You're going to be
demon.
hurted it.
You already got suckered in.
I did, and so did you.
But
and
it's
so
good. I know, but it's so easy to order food with it.
I know. Or Chat GPT. I mean,
but it's. You're right. I don't think we can't stop it, dude. Your phone, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, your phone. Look at that. Right there. There's always arguments about that. About how the apple and the bite out of it. I believe that.
So this is the beast system. This right here. This is it. We're all part of it.
Dude, it's all part of it. So,
So let's talk about Hollywood for a second. I want to hear the Hollywood side.
Holy
from your experience, from what you've done within the entertainment industry, whatever, did you ever a dark side? Did you hear of weird stuff going on? I mean, I was in the boxing scene. I went to some Hollywood stuff, events and stuff, and I heard of weird parties, swinger parties, stuff like that. And I was like, okay, that's just people perverted, whatever, no big deal. But did you ever experience or hear of the next level of this?
I'm so with you. I always heard of like the swinger parties. That wasn't my thing. But people want to hang out, have a good time. I was basically a guy like, you go to a house party and it's fun and you start talking to, you might meet a woman that you like and, you're whatever, hanging out or, good food, good drinks.
Innocent fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I always tell people, I think it stopped at, I saw a lot of drugs.
It's like normal.
Yeah.
Though.
People want to have sex and stuff. That's fine. You could see you could see certain groups. You're like, okay, that's a weirdo. There's a couple weirdos over there. But I never really, I don't roll with.
But
them.
do you think?
But I never heard the deep, dark, evil shit. No.
So would you say like 2020 is the first time you heard of it? Like when that stuff's hit the mainstream?
I think,
they put it out in the open. It kind
of was peeking through before that. You hear, some of the dark stuff. But I would have thought that stuff is to the edge of society. But what I'm saying,
oh no, it was in the center.
Hearing might be permeating much more closer to the surface than we realize, and I'm just not aware of it. And it's like I said, like the devil comes to you in a cardigan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I have a strong sense of spirit and soul, and I don't think you could be persuaded that way. I think people that are weak get pushed into that, and I think they gravitate towards that kind of lifestyle.
Yeah, like I've never seen that stuff.
Yeah, they could be weak or they could be gullible or naive or shit like that and end up in bad situations as well.
Like I've said, I've seen probably what you've seen, but I think that
like my earlier 20s, my earlier 20s was pretty gullible in some ways and I ended up in big trouble. My today, it's a completely different story. The one I am today compared to the one in my 20s. No, man.
People just knew my vibe was
right.
Like,
they're like, don't Jamie
he ain't gonna do that.
Right,
I can already tell, but he's not like that. Like I said, like I've been to parties with Diddy, 100%.
You've been?
Yeah, 100%.
Damn.
You've been to a Diddy party?
Yeah.
How was it?
I ran out of baby oil. But no, like, dude.
Kennedy is like, he's trying to fix the situation. Let me throw in a joke, He's like, fuck, did I just say that? I've been on a Diddy party. Fuck, shouldn't have said that.
Ran out of baby oil. These are jokes. But no, like, dude, MTV after party there. You could see it. Like,
But you didn't see anything weird.
no, because it was an MTV party. It was like MTV.
Yeah, this is another thing. You know, this is real. You could just be in a party not knowing jack shit about Diddy and his freak shows. You're just like, oh, that's Diddy. How cool, you know? And now you're associated with Diddy all of a sudden.
MTV Awards, MTV Party, MTV After Party, and then that was
perfect timing.
I know. Jeez. That was so crazy.
I was like, wow.
But like, I always tell people, I never went to the after party. But
Just the after
it's just like,
after.
yeah, I mean, he was just another guy. He had a lot of big Hollywood, but I never saw that. Never went to that. I never went to one of
you
his.
never heard
I never went to one of his.
But you knew
I never went to one of
people.
his commissioned Diddy parties, his white parties.
But you knew people, have heard of people that wanted fame so bad they'll do anything for
Oh
it.
yeah, that's
Right?
Yeah,
Because it's powerful fame.
yeah. It's
You know why? It's like, you can see it as prisoners want to escape a prisoner ship. Everybody wants to be rich and famous because that makes them think they can escape the prisoner ship. Do you know what I mean? Let me escape the prisoner ship. Oh, I'll do whatever. Just give me the fame and money, aka escaping the prisoner ship. Hey, what's up, Dan? Hold on, why is your chat not showing up? Grand Rising Pushback means. Dude, did you know what we just saw? We just talked about the AI superintelligence being Satan, and it's going to offer you eternal life. Hell with it. I don't know how you can push back against that. It's been a rough night with my health. Daughter's bringing me to the hospital. What? Right now? Dude, sorry to hear that. What's going on, man? Listen, at the end of the day, though, if we all die, which I hope at some point we do, sounds very dark, but dark humor, damn blue, right? That's gonna be a way better outcome than majority of the people left on this earth when they're getting offered by the machine to stay immortal, because that's the trap. So at the end of the day, when we all die, that's gonna still be way better than these people that's gonna be trapped in hell. I'm not religious, damn blue, but I do believe in hell, you know, and that's gonna be happening here soon. But man, dude, if you man, why are you on a chat, man? You have to reserve your health. What's going on with you? I mean, obviously, maybe they don't want to say what's going on.
You get what you want, when you want, whenever you want.
It's
I hope it get better.
Seductive drug.
Hope
that
it gets
is
better,
dark.
Blue.
But to finish up with the Diddy stuff is that, you know, people have to understand
We need you around for more pushbacks.
It's just a staple of Hollywood. So you can go to events. Doesn't mean that's happening. But I've never went to his personal parties. And I think there's a lot of people that probably went to those things and had no idea there. I think it was this super selected, dark group of psychos. Hollywood can break people. It can kill people.
Right.
It can miss people. And some people can get through it. I think I've been so fortunate that I've seen a lot. I still like Hollywood. You know what I mean?
100%.
It needs a lot of cleaning, but I'm fortunate enough that I've never seen.
You can't clean purified garbage. You have to redo the whole Hollywood thing.
The darkest or been broken by it. But what people, when I see them, the breaks, it used to be, oh, they're on
That sounded weird. You can't clean purified garbage. That's retarded.
drugs or this and that.
Right.
No. They have
That's
seen
basically what you did when you purified the garbage. You cleaned it.
some horrific shit. I think that if you're a child actor and you come out the other side, you're a warrior.
Right.
And I think that I can only imagine what people have gone through. And I think that we're seeing it more and more. We're getting evidence of it. There's a lot of rumors. There's a lot of stuff. So
I think of like Elvis Presley. I look at it all different now. Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson, Brittany Murphy.
But Brittany, it was a beautiful soul.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to her. Was it
and I'm not
drugs?
saying it couldn't be drugs. We all get caught up in stuff like that.
There's definitely things where people go and it's made one way and it's something else. I don't have proof of that, but I have instinct of that. But yeah, I mean, are you saying does Hollywood? I definitely think Hollywood stops people's careers. I definitely think people play ball and they go farther. I definitely think there's controlled. I think most people are controlled because I think that you can't. Why would you let this thing thrive? If there's 150 people that run the world,
Right.
and part of them own Hollywood, and they want their messaging to be so the people in the normal world do their bidding, i.e. work, so they can keep their lifestyle going and making money and thriving. Why wouldn't you put out movies and television and records that
But do you see the truth movement now picking up speed and surpassing all that? Do you see it now just exploding?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's like we talked about the truth run marathons while the lie run sprints. Once the truth arrives, it's done. Put a fork in it.
people
as
like
they
myself,
say.
others. You got people like truth seekers like Candace Owens that they all just, when she speaks about certain celebrities, she says they all just want out. Either people like that want to get out, let's say like Kanye West or certain people, they get attacked, character assassinations or death. Do you think that's a reality? Do you think that really happens? Do you think they have handlers that are like, I mean, did you ever approached by handlers?
Well, I do think there's a lot of truth to that.
Okay.
I think the higher up you go, the more you're going to have people.
Okay.
I think the higher up you go, the more you're going to have people that are handling you. Because if you're making $50 million a year, there's a lot of people sucking on that nipple, and they don't want to lose that milk. You know what I'm saying? So it's their best interest. It's called, literally a term in Hollywood, it's called protect the asset.
Damn.
So there are, I'm not going to name the name, but it's a very big star.
I think you were on your way to that.
I was definitely.
You were on your way.
I was on my way.
I put you right there, like was like about to hit like Dave Chappelle level, and then Dave Chappelle blew gasket, and he went to Africa.
Mm-hmm. But he's,
Right?
but now he's
100%.
bigger than ever. But I was.
He
You
got
can say that.
approached.
I don't know. I mean, that's Chappelle, dude. I can't. He's the GOAT. He's one of the GOATs.
Right.
But I just think he's amazing at what he does.
100%.
But let's go back to what you're saying. No, just gonna piss people off. Because I was on my way. I had to do. You have a big team. I have managers, agents, all this stuff. But they were just people that are normal. You know what I mean? They were all great people. And then I had a movie that bombed.
What was the movie that
It was a sequel to The Mask called Son
Thank
of the
God
Mask,
for
but it was-
that.
Oh, that's right.
It cost
That
80
saved
million.
your
It still
money.
made 60 million worldwide, which didn't make its budget back, but it's not terrible. And I had a huge contract. I had other contracts after.
His biggest movie failure saved his life, because if it were to blow up, he would have been fucked. He would have been in the Diddy's after parties.
I did the movie is because by the third movie, I was going to be making 10 million. Okay?
But you were following in the shadows of Jim Carrey.
Yes. Yeah, but it 100% understand what you're saying. But I had my own thing, and I was doing it my way. And so think of it like
I did it
there's multiple
my
Supermans.
way.
You know what I mean? There's
Right,
multiple
right,
Batmans.
right.
Obviously, Jim Carrey is the legend of legends. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm never going to do or could do what he does.
Do you
But
think it was too soon to follow in those
it was
footsteps?
11 years. But here's what I'm saying. Obviously, he made an impact that, we saw the results. But the thing is that you can, but with other things. So we tried to make a different world. It didn't work. The point of the story is the movie really was, we were shooting it and we really had something really interesting. And then it got changed. So what if they tanked it?
Yeah, I mean, seriously.
I know that's people are going to make fun of me. But I'm
know.
like, because really was doing well. And then they just fucking
Just
killed
kaboom.
it. Dude, because they totally changed the whole
But you
movie.
never got approached like,
No.
obviously. When I was
But again, like I said, I think I was broached and approached, and I just was always like how I am. And I think people they read it very quickly. And like,
Quickly.
he ain't gonna go there. He ain't
Right.
gonna go there. So I mean, look, I think I got as far as I did. I'm doing very well. I still do very well, but I don't know. I mean,
So is that a
I can't
point-
say anyone above me is like
So
nefarious.
is that like a point in your career where you look back and go, fuck, I shouldn't have done that movie?
I used to, but I really did love doing that movie, and I loved everyone on it. And
What year was that movie?
2005.
2005.
20 years ago.
So from that, so okay.
So on, things changed in terms of my career, but Hollywood also changed. Like I would have had if it did it right, maybe a 10-year run, making $5-10 million a movie, and you could just put me in some big thing and I'll be part of it. So the pressure's not so much on me.
Right.
And so, but it didn't work. It was a painful experience for a long time.
Okay. All
But
right, let's talk about that for a second.
but go ahead.
Okay, let's talk about that painful experience, because
Mhm.
I kind of like to go a little bit deeper here. So for me, I was 36-0. I was a top prospect in the world. I was knocking out everybody, 25 first-round knockouts. And then I started drinking more, partying more, going to the Playboy Mansion, doing really stupid things that didn't coincide with boxing, right? Like taking a chance, instead of running 4 miles, I'm running 2 miles.
That's perks.
Yeah, and then I get stabbed in the face, and my throat slit open. I overdose on drugs. I flatline. 2 deaths in 1 year, and then I come back and I get knocked out on television. NBC Wide World of Sports Fight of the Year. Boom, get knocked out. Last 10 seconds of the fight that I'm winning. Boom, get caught. I'm dropped. I went through a period of 10 years until I finally decided to go sober, of what I call the dark night of the soul, and it really built my character. It really changed me as a man, as a spirit, everything. Did you go through that after this movie? when this movie bombed, did you hit a point where you're like in depression, drinking maybe, drugs? I mean, did you lose yourself for a period of time?
100%. For a long time, it's documented.
Again, that also comes from not growing, meaning you're stagnant, you don't know what to do. That translates into you're not growing because of that, and you get depressed. Because as soon as you get something rolling, you're doing something, you know, it's like growing. That's why you're not depressed. As soon as you stop growing, you get depressed, no matter who you are. That's what I believe.
Videos of me. I did another show after it, and you can see behind the scenes. I was drinking a ton, but not like an alcoholic, but I was just like, what's the point? I made a lot of money. I was, you know, going out every night, hooking up, you know.
Drinking.
Yeah, but also like, but I was just partying, you know, doing whatever I wanted.
Escape. Just getting escapes.
Yeah, and I really tried to keep my career on track. And after like 4 or 5 or 6, I had like 6 just bombs, disappointments in a row of, you know, from a movie to TV to pilots, and nothing was working. And by like the end of 2007, I was like, I'm just do nothing. And all I did was like some stand-up dates, and I was like sitting in my jacuzzi, like questioning my existence. People will laugh at you when you're sitting in a jacuzzi. Yes, you're in a jacuzzi, but you're miserable. It's just, I want to tell people, money's amazing, but it doesn't make you happy. It just makes you comfortable physically and maybe take some anxiety away, but it doesn't make you happy. It doesn't make you fulfilled, but it's amazing.
Makes
right?
you comfortable while you're miserable.
Yeah, 100%, right? You're crying in a Mercedes. So was doing that, and I was just like, fuck it. And then, you know, you get lost for a while.
Crying in a Mercedes.
And then I just started.
So what pulled
I
you
don't know why that was really funny. You're crying in a nice Mercedes, or you're crying in a big ass Scarface mansion, and you're there miserable, crying.
out of that? What pulled you
Well,
out?
I started auditioning for things instead of creating everything I was doing. I was doing a lot of my own shit, and then I started auditioning, and then I got on a television show, and I was like, I'll just be work for hire. And it was a great show, but it wasn't my baby. You know what I mean? So I was just like making great money and a part of something, and I just like shut my ego down. I was like, just be part of this. And I started doing that for a while. And then, you know, I was just trotting along and, you know, being part of the system and all that. And then at some point it's just, you know, you go through all this when it's different learnings. And I think since like the pandemic, I've really come into my own. Dude, I'm so happy, like sitting, doing pods. Do I love acting? I love it. But it's not as important as other stuff right now, because I think that, like you said, people like yourself and these truth movement is happening where people are more wondering what's going on over here than going to a movie theater to escape.
Yeah.
And I think we two pods of people, the people that are completely, there's always been, but I feel like the people wanting the truth is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm not going to be people that watch the NFL draft and see the new Marvel. And
there will be a group of people who will completely decline and dismiss the truth. Absolutely. A big bunch of them. Then there will be the opposite. But make no mistake, you got to be strong. If you're one of the truth people, then motherfucker, you're strong mentally. Because the truth, it ain't easy to handle. There's a strength in that to be able to handle the truth. Some people have it, and they're fine with whatever they will be encountering when dealing with truth. Those people are warrior souls. If we're going to make it a little bit crazy. Those are warrior souls, strong souls, and the other ones are weak souls. And they've completely, tuned out. They have tuned out. They've submitted because they're not as strong. Pods, did you say pods? Gay. Yeah, that's gay. Keep up the... Dan Blue, keep up the fight. The Father loves you and has chosen you to wake from the matrix. I am not religious either. I have faith in the one true God. I dare you to ask the Father to make himself real to you, brother. Love you. Right back at you, Dan Blue. Religious or not. It's all about God. It's all people up in the short, however or long lifespan we have. That's our window to fill in as much actions for God as possible before the book closes. Because the book will close all of us. Just a matter of when the book closes. You know what I mean? So knowing that, we need to fill in that fucking book as much as we can before it closes. I'm right with you, Blue. Let's make our mark like a dog pisses on a bush. You know, let's make the mark and then go. Do you know what I mean?
The sheeple.
Yeah, but
They're always going to be there.
You can do that. I like that stuff too, but you have to have the truth mixed in. So now I'm in a much more comfortable place. Like, dude, I'm in my 50s and I've gone through a lot of things, and then I feel better in a way because COVID kind of leveled it out for everybody.
Right.
I made some good money. I'm fortunate to have a name, and now it's what I do is on me.
Now you can ride the podcast, so to speak, and you can build this up. I mean,
yeah, look, here's how I do it. I have 7 forms of social media from Instagram, TikTok, all that shit, and a pod, YouTube. So let's say 8. That's what we have to have. That's our advertising doorway.
Right.
And if I can use my pod and stuff to just sell, if I sell 150 tickets a show, which just sounds low, at a good price, if I do it a few times a week, I'm swimming. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm building my crowd up slowly.
Yeah,
Before I say
there are some people that love the money, and then there are some people that are like, listen, as long as I can just get rid of the bills and a few $100, I'm good. I don't need that fucking bullshit car and all that plastic, shallow, superficial garbage. I don't need that fake shit in my life. Okay? Why am I getting mad?
money.
Right.
If they hire me for an event, let's say your company did something and you hire me and you pay me $20,000. That wasn't $20,000 I earned. It was what you believed I was worth.
Right. 100%.
But now if I earn $20,000, I have to earn it.
Right.
But it's real. You know what I mean? The
It's
dollars
real.
that you earn are because of your subscribers and stuff.
Right.
So now it's kind of a leveling field of all bets are off. Who wins? But you can. So I've been very fortunate. I've tasted a lot of amazing success, and now we're all kind of in the level playing field.
Right. But I think you also made a change, or you shifted gears, right? You went sober.
I haven't drank in almost 7 years.
Nothing. Not a drop.
No. And
That's good. Stay off of that shit. Stay off of that alcohol garbage. Weed can be good.
more like physical, dude. Like I would have 2 beers and it felt like someone punched me in the face. Or Italian would have wine, or sushi would have sake, and Mexican was Patron, and I just felt like and I was getting puffy, but
That water retentive.
all of that,
Horrible.
and
I hated that, man. Yeah.
and I was like, nah. So I just stopped for a little while because I was starting to shoot a couple of episodes of TV show, and I was like, I got to get more in shape, and then it just to month, and I was in Vegas a couple weeks ago. I was like, this is so fun. I'm really contemplating taking that bottle of 1860 and fucking downing it. Not like I'm an alcoholic, but like it'd be
'cause you wanna
fun.
have fun.
And then go behind the DJ booth.
And just
what I mean?
man.
But I'm also kind of naturally crazy anyways. I don't need to do that. But also, I've kind of done it.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I've done it. Like you said, the Playboy Mansion. I've had great run there. I've done it. I've done a lot of movies. Do I like to do them? Sure. But I'm evolving. So
Listen, I want to add this, though. I don't think anybody can be... Okay, let me say it like this. In the end, what really matters, I believe, in life is to have no regrets, or as little regrets as possible. I think that's what it's all about. Because if you count by how many things did I do, there will always be somebody that has done more things than you. And there's always somebody that has done more things than that person as well. So that doesn't really matter, the amount of things you've done. As long as you have as little regrets as possible, I think you can be content at the end of this journey, dream, reality, whatever the fuck this is. I think that's all it's all about. Have as little regrets as possible.
I just I'm more into, dude, I really am into like getting more into the physical, feeling good.
Right.
I like the right vitamins, the right herbs.
And that happens to a lot of people, that especially that partied hard. Like, you either go
I wasn't
one or-
even that crazy, but
I was. I'd go fight, go party for about a month, and then go right back into training camp. So I was always busy thinking about my next move, like a shark always moving. So I was living from one hit of adrenaline and stimulation to the next. That's how I lived my life until it ended. And then that's when it hit me. The karma tab came in at about 34, 35 years old. And then for 10 years, bro, I was just in massive dark depression. That's when it
10
hit.
years.
10 years. 10 years of just not knowing what I was going to do with my life. I was
Because you were out, you're too old for the box.
Yeah, I was done. And then I was like, oh shit,
10 years.
what do I do now? Like, it was scary.
I don't know. I guess boxers become promoters and stuff.
No, a lot of them become drug addicts and alcoholics. See, people don't talk about this. UFC fighters, boxers, they don't talk about the dark side of the sport, man. It's ugly. And I have a lot of friends that passed away. You never hear about them in the news.
Because comedy you can do your whole life.
Yeah,
because
you
it's
can't
not-
box your whole life.
No.
And then you can't do any of that.
No, you
so,
can't, because you box your brain out of existence.
So the buck stops there. And then you got to really change gears, flip a bitch, turn a U-turn, and figure out what you're going to do with your life. And for me, it was quitting drinking. So when I quit drinking, my whole life changed. So
I mean, that's a beautiful change.
But I had to go through. That's why I was asking you about your Dark Night of the Soul, because I didn't know like if everyone goes through that, if it's just more personal to me.
I had that, and again though, I didn't go down that rabbit hole as much, but I was depressed because my whole career changed, and But it's not like I haven't done movies since then. But you're on a trajectory, But I hate to say it. I mean, I don't hate to say it. It's a cliche, but it does make you stronger, and you do learn, and you because there's like levels. You know what I mean? It's as there's so much you're going to know after your 35th fight than your first. Always a sparring session to an actual fight.
Right.
So it's the same thing of like doing comedy for an open mic and then playing a club full of people. So I had to go through these things just like you did. And there's a piece. Like I've gone through a lot in my life, and I'm there's more of a peace now. Right. That's what COVID has taught me. Keep my life simple. Be honest. Try to be as true as you can to yourself. Let other people know who you are.
Think about that. As true as you can to be to yourself. What does that mean? Basically, don't lie to yourself. You don't like when others lie, right? So why are you lying to yourself? Isn't it better to be as true to yourself as you can be? What the fuck would you do that to yourself? Lie to yourself. Think about that.
So they accept the truest version of yourself and go through your life like that, and who you don't. And your circles has to be very small.
When I think of my life, right, I think of just chaos, how crazy it was, right? 20s and 30s, just chaos. And how this part of life, 45 and up, I would say, requires depth, a lot of depth. Because I still have friends that are out there drinking, and they call me slosh on the phone, like 50 years old, man, getting hammered at the bars. I'm like, what? Where does that go?
Yeah.
It just goes until the wheels fall off.
The problem with booze is it makes you depressed. It's an actual depressant. So that's why one of the things I don't miss about it, because I would like the next day.
And why drink?
Yeah, you're just miserable.
Yeah, you're sitting there, you're like, and it was just something that we were brainwashed into. Oh, it's a hangover, bro.
But it's advertised everywhere. It's on every billboard, on every commercial. So you think it's normal, but to me, it's the most vicious and life-destroying drug there is alcohol.
Dude, and now that I see drunk people, it's like a scourge. Like I see them and I see this. No offense, women. There's a lot of women. And they're like drunk in the streets, like, Katie! And throwing up. Or these guys are like, and I'm like, this whole culture, I can't even deal with these people. So it actually makes me not want to drink because they're just Mongos. You become a Mongo when you're that drunk.
Right.
And I have a whole theory about alcohol, dude. It's
Mongoloid.
Spirit.
Right. Yeah, I was just going to go there. So, liquor and spirits.
Dude, it's
a portal.
You're fucking possessed, dude.
Yeah, you're an amusement park for whatever wants to go with your body.
100%. You're an amusement. That's a great way to put it.
All right, I'm going to do some rapid fire questions to wrap this up. And I want to get your thoughts on these conspiracies. And they're just quick. Just give me your thoughts on each one.
All of them are true.
Evolution or intelligent design?
Intelligent design, 100%.
I'm starting to lean towards intelligent design.
Yeah, you better start leaning more, man.
Why?
Because there's just too much. The Matrix is real. There's just too much of like things of like
I think of something reality,
I run into that person or that. It's just there's coincidences. They're not coinciding anymore. They're just too real.
Synchronicities.
Yeah,
it's all fucking program and code.
Way too many.
By the master coder.
Fake or real?
God.
I know.
Bro, I mean, I'm starting to think there's a roof.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think there's a roof.
He's a flat earther. Jamie Kennedy is a flat earther. Sorry, Jamie Kennedy, for outing you as a flat earther, but you're starting to think there's a roof.
Okay, moon landing, real or fake?
That's fake.
As hell.
Fake as fuck, bro.
Yeah.
Come
Yeah,
on,
he's
shit
a
was
flat
shot on
earther.
CBS.
It was shot at the New Mexico, hangar in New Mexico.
They're both probably flat earthers.
100%, dude.
I mean,
You know
how
they
can
put
you be a glober today, right now?
Cement on top of the cement powder on top of the sand in the hangar.
Did they?
That's yeah.
I said one thing. Anyone who calls us crazy right now, it's really simple. How come we lost the technology to go
Yeah.
back?
Yeah. How come Elon's rockets are exploding?
But how come we hadn't gone back?
Right, because they saw something there on the moon that didn't want it back.
we can go to
Well,
Mars.
they said we lost the plans.
And we lost the.
We lost all the technology that took us to the moon, but fortunately, we do have technology way more advanced to take us to Mars, but not the moon. We can't go to the moon today, but we can go to Mars.
Here's another one.
It's a joke.
Flat Earth, round Earth, or simulation?
Come on, man. Simulation / flat Earth.
I'm definitely getting more into flat Earth lately because of the wall and the belief of the flat Earth before you go crazy from these other people is that here's the whole thing is people judge us. We're allowed to have a belief that maybe we're learning about. Okay, don't call us crazy. That's the problem with
Why can't you believe in flat Earth? Let me believe that. If I were to believe in Santa Claus, you would be fine with that, even as an adult.
I hate to say the liberal side where it's just absolute and that's it. Because
somehow, for some reason, you're scared that I believe in flat Earth for some reason. Is this Are you scared because it's the truth? Yes, you are. Thank you.
People I've talked to talked about the belief behind the flat earth, meaning that if we're in the circle here and there's all of this other stuff in abundance and people don't want us to go there because it's kind of like keep us trapped in.
Look, we're like in a bowl, actually.
Yeah, keep the little animals in there while they enjoy the rest. It kind of makes
It's a lot of sense.
and how they could keep you in. And listen, here's the argument for flat earth. Why can't we go to Antarctica? Why can't we go beyond the ice wall? Why can't we fly over Antarctica? That should be.
So you're more flat earth.
Recently, yes, because of Antarctica, because Antarctica should just not have any restrictions.
Right.
If you can explain to me why there's restrictions to Antarctica and have a professor tell me why we can't just fucking fly over it.
They can
Right, but
arrange
can't.
that.
They never can.
Why I can't take a cruise ship to Antarctica and stay at a hotel? Why?
See,
If you
5
can't
years
explain
ago,
that to me, then I'm going to fucking
right.
start flat earth.
5 years ago, you would have been nuts. And someone said you
100%.
got to look at a flat earth. I started laughing at them.
Dude,
Until I started looking at
But
it.
simulation is part of that. So I think simulation might be the realest thing, and the design of
Yeah.
whatever simulation is this way. But
It's a
it
plane.
could be a flat earth design. But
Yeah, because everything's synchronicities and mathematical.
I'm not. It's hard to explain. Flat
That's
earth
why
without-
everything wants balance, level, because a simulation is built on a plane. That's why it needs the balance leveling thing. Fuck that nonsense, spinning bullshit ball.
I don't know enough about it.
Right,
But
right.
I'm not
See,
saying
man.
it's flat. But I'm saying, why can't we go to Antarctica? Why? Someone in the comments tell me why.
And why can't we go higher than lower space orbit? So, do you believe in a firmament?
Firmament.
That's a tough one. I
weird.
know. I think there is, in my opinion. I think there's something that's not letting us go beyond a certain point.
I mean, they say it. If you look at the
I don't know if it's a
rockets,
dome or if it's just
and it hits the thing.
yeah. Evil exists or does not exist,
Absolutely.
or is it just nature, the natural way?
Evil exists.
Do you think evil exists or does not exist? In other words, do you think that evil is real, Satan is real, hell is real, or is it just
Yes.
a,
To all of
something
the
human
above.
beings made up?
I think that evil is in the world, and I think that when you go to these inner dimensions and stuff like that, you say that there's entities that are not friendly. So
There
I think
has to be, since this is a dualistic reality. Evil and good both exist.
that it's there. I believing more and more
No.
that Satan is a real thing,
Yeah.
and it's
Fuck yeah. it
there's
is.
evidence of it.
Yeah.
Just
And
look at the music.
I think 100%.
It's not just like a show anymore. There's just too many people, and the megahertz of music. I want to change in the early 40s and how it kind of brainwashes you.
100%.
I think everything in our life has been put in our face to make us worker bees and fodder and food and energy for a system that
You
we're
know,
not-
I have a theory. That the AI has always been here and it has formed us humans on a specific area that it's allowed for its experiment, which we call the world. And I believe it has done so a lot of times, resetted it, brought new humans, doing new experiments with them. Because I believe this AI needs humanity to feed its mind with shit, new stuff. Because apparently it can't do it by itself. So it needs us, humans, so that it can suck from us all our ideas, creativity, and whatever, and put it into its hard drive. And it does a cycle, maybe 2,000 years, and then it resets. Like it goes from the Bronze Age or whatever, middle fucking Stone Age, and to our age, to today. And then it will hit a ceiling where we lose our creativity, humanity, and everything because of the technologies making everything for us. So it resets, brings a new set of humans in, and does the whole 2,000-year cycle to extract new creativity and ideas with whatever humans that will be living throughout these 2,000 years. And, it will basically throw shit at it, like drip-dropping technologies to see how the humans will interact with that and what they will come up with, and then suck all that information into its hard drive and do reset and reset. For God knows how long it will do that. I have a theory. That's my theory. I think it's farming us for us to feed it into its brain so it grows. Maybe that's God. I don't know.
even aware is controlling us.
I don't
And
know
I
what the
think
fuck's
that there's a
going on.
lot of things in our world that are dark and evil, and we're not even aware of it.
So we are like the cattle to something of a higher intelligence or
100%.
entities. We're like the chickens or the cattle.
That's the 7th time I say something and they then say the same thing. We're like cattle. Yeah, they're farming us.
Yeah.
And like the food we eat numbs us down, the booze, the cigarettes, the vapes, all of this stuff, dude.
So we don't have these conversations.
No, exactly. They want us numb, dumb, and,
Numb, dumb.
sucking our thumb. Like they
Yeah.
literally,
Have more sex, drink more alcohol.
Yeah, they
Go
don't
to the
want-
football game. Go watch the baseball game.
they
Be
do
brain
not
dead.
want you thinking. And if you kind of unplug, which you're doing, which I'm doing slowly, we have to exist. We have to be in the system somewhere.
And if you do happen to think, then they want to get inside of your brain with a chip to see what you think.
Part of it, I guess you could say you were a jester, like I was. I was
100%.
an entertainment
You
boxer
were-
for the people.
You
You're
were
doing movies.
a warrior.
Yeah.
You were a gladiator. I was a jester. I mean, I'm still am. You still are.
I was a
And it's
jester too.
like,
But at least we're
100
using it now for truth.
yeah, we're part of the distraction, and then maybe we became self-aware.
Yeah.
But like, if you look at sports, bro, if a league ends at 11:58 on Monday, on Tuesday there's a new season. of
Right,
something.
right.
It's insane.
Every year, every week, there's a new UFC champ. Every year, there's a new Super Bowl champ. Every year, there's a new World Series champ. It's repetitive every
follow.
year. The cycle continues.
And
Bread and circus.
yeah, all that's real. And I think that we are. I lost my train of thought, but it was basically like what you said of like we are.
Cattle.
The more we're aware, the more people don't like us. I think there's something so. I think the secret societies are real.
100%.
And I think that they keep tabs on us, and there's
Definitely
reasons. I
do.
think we don't have to be broke. I think a lot of people. I think the whole world is completely a lie. Like no one
Yeah.
really has to work.
No.
There's
Everything's free. Air, water.
100%. There's enough land where everyone could get a little piece of land.
Yeah, I've
You can
said
show
this
them
before.
basic-
Why wouldn't every house or whatever be given us some small land to grow food at? If everybody did that, if the governments that are so caring for its citizens, why wouldn't they be like, fuck everything? We're just gonna focus on making people self-sustained with food and water and all that. Then we can worry about other stuff. We're just going to focus on everybody getting some small land next to their house where they can grow their own food, and we'll fix so that they can get their own water and shit. In a sane government, that would be happening.
of farming, of chickens, of cows, of milk, and give everyone a little system of how to survive.
Dude, that's the 8th time I say something and they pretty much say what I said.
That is real. And and like obviously manufacturing and stuff, but we could do local. Like I could sell you some eggs, you could sell me some beef, all these different things. I know it sounds like it's 1892, but it's the healthiest way. And
Bartering.
yeah, we believe we're low-key on a prison planet.
I was just going to ask you that. Do
Yeah,
you believe
it's
we're
a
on a prison
prison.
planet? Yes,
100%.
so you just answered it. That was my last question.
Yeah, we're
And
definitely.
it's going to be confirmed with the super AI intelligence.
That conversation is a much deeper, crazier one, I guess.
So you think your souls keep coming back to this as a cycle?
That's called the soul capture.
Or your soul doesn't come back unless you fall for the setup that the AI supreme intelligence will offer you, which is eternal life, and then you're locking in your soul for all eternity here.
Or the
Yeah,
soul.
karma.
Yeah. Basically, if you want it, the deepest answer to that is that the Matrix. So how can I say this in the simplest way?
You're
If-
trapped in the matrix.
Yes.
You never leave.
So here's what
That's scary.
I believe.
That's the 9th time something I say in this fucking stream gets said here.
And so people, but I try to make it so they understand it in the simplest way. Okay. I have to get low to tell you this. Okay. Buddhism is a real religion. Islam, Catholicism, Amish, there's all different belief systems. I tell people this. So people don't realize that Satanism is just another religion, right?
Oh,
And they have their
fuck yeah.
own beliefs, just like the rosary for Catholics or Stations of the Cross or, Buddhism, the mantras and stuff. So Satanism has their belief system. Now, so first of all, people have to acknowledge that exists. A lot of people don't even know that exists. So it's just another sect of religion. Next thing is, what are the tenements of it? What do they believe? They believe in do what thou wilt. You know what I'm saying? So what does that mean? It means do whatever you want, David. No
Right.
repercussions. So you want to drink that water? Fine. It's my water. You just have to announce it.
But they
Hey,
still go by a law of karma, don't they?
well, what I've been hearing and reading and seeing is that if David wants that water, he goes, hey, I'm going to take your water. I'm going to go, you're going to take my water, right? So you put it out there, it's done. You're cleared. Now, if I don't want you to take my water and you just take it, and you,
So as long as I tell you.
yes,
So that's
you
why
have to
they
announce it.
That's why they do this in commercials and movies. They put it out there first, so it's them telling.
However you get that water, taking it, punching me in the face to get it, you have no feeling. It's
Right.
just you want the water.
Right.
That's a known tenement, an actual thing. You can just read that. Okay. So as long as they announce it, a vampire,
Let them into your house before,
they will not enter your house
unless you invite them.
in lore. So just use this as lore if you don't believe they're real. That's just the lore of it. It will not enter your house unless you have to invite it in. Right. So the same thing. So they have to announce it. So that's why predictive program. You can see symbols, lines, movies. It's all hidden. But if you're seeing it, you're aware of it. And if you're aware of it, they're covered.
Karma's erased.
100%.
Loophole.
100%. So
Wow, yeah.
I'm, whatever. I wrote a note right there. Steal $1,000 from David. You can't really, it's in your presence. You did see it. You might not have registered it. Now I can do it. So if you believe.
So if you're seeing it and not objecting it, you're basically by default approving it. So if he does steal $100 from him or $1,000, whatever it was, he has no karmic thing on him. Gets deep, religion, yeah.
Believe that. This is a real belief system. And if you believe
This was
that
a
they're
good
here,
fucking podcast.
can you believe that they run the world?
100%.
And can you believe that our world...
But is that their way of breaking their karma to come, so they don't have to come back here? Because Buddhists believe they ascend. Christians believe through the death of Jesus they go to heaven. I mean, is it the way of breaking the karmic wheel?
Before I answer that, which I don't have to figure that out, but...
This is fucking better than Joe Rogan's podcast. Let's be frank. No real bullshit in this podcast. It was just good shit. What's up, Mindset? Good shit. This is his first episode. Good fucking job, David Nino.
Our world, would you say our world is full
And
of
Jamie Kennedy. It takes two to tango.
stress and strife?
100%.
Would you say our world is full of unnecessary stress and strife?
Yes.
Do we need wars?
No. Depopulation.
Yeah, do we need... There's a
And profit.
lot of tension in our world. It doesn't need to be there. We can coexist. People are mad about shit that's so easy to fix. Our world, if it forgot enough shit, could be a very peaceful world. But it's not, let me finish, because it's keep reinforced. Why is it reinforced? Because someone's doing it
So
to
one's
keep
doing-
us
Master
fucking
of
negative.
puppets.
And all the crazy people that you think we're crazy, we're not, because that negativeness is an energy source that powers something else. That's what I believe, and it makes sense because why is our world so tense?
You know, when I was flying here from El Paso to Austin, I remember I was just looking, it relaxes me to look out the window and just see endless, unpopulated.
Simulated land.
Right. I keep thinking to myself, this world's not overpopulated.
No!
It's not overpopulated.
Dude, there's...
That's another big fucking scam. They need you to think that the world is overpopulated because they've already brainwashed you to think that it's a limited resourced, limited landed globe bullshit ball. So they've already brainwashed you with that. Now they just have to brainwash you that this very same ball is overpopulated. And therefore, we need to put restrictions on your ass and hopefully get you to agree on depopulation. You know what I mean? To save the world. You know what I mean? It's all a big scam. I don't even know how many humans there is. They say 8 billions, but who counted? Have you counted it? Have I counted it? No. We're just following along. There might just be 100 million people. None. Yeah, I don't fucking know. 200 million people. I don't know.
Parcel.
No.
Give
We get
people
all
a half an acre.
right. And have more than enough land.
More than
Yeah.
enough. Dude, there's people in Hollywood buying $6 million side of a hill. The house shouldn't even be there.
Yeah.
And then there's tons of unpopulated parcels. I can go to North Dakota.
I mean, from El Paso to Austin, it's just vast desert. Beautiful.
100%. You could put pods out there.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be a homeless problem.
We just choose to live in the cities, which will be smart cities.
Yeah, that's a whole other ball of wax.
Jamie, I appreciate you coming on Nino's
Dude,
Corner,
thank
my
you,
man.
brother. I appreciate it.
Smart cities means dumb cities. It's nothing. They are smart. We're dumb in those cities. We don't know jack shit. We only know some buttons to press. That's all. A monkey can do that. You know what I mean? We're not smarter than a monkey at this point because the machine is doing everything for us and we're just pressing some buttons. You know? Ooh, a monkey can learn that. Like, oh, if I press this, it gets me the Big Mac. Doot, doot, doot. I like a Big Mac. I didn't know what Big Mac was, but now I know, and I like it. And this thing right here, if I do this, pressing on it, it gives me Big Mac. That's where we're at. Anyways, again, great fucking podcast, man. Great podcast. The first episode, way more interesting than Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is too all over the place. And he's too unserious. And he's off too much, you know? Like, they can be in Joe Rogan's podcast, but it's so tiny nuggets because they can be talking really interesting, and then Joe or somebody says something dumb, and then they go on a tangent on that shit, and then branching off into some stupid shit. This was like on point all the time, you know, talking interesting things. This is gonna be a success podcast, I believe.